What habits do successful people have? Many young people ask this question thinking that a couple of habits will actually make a difference with their life in terms of wealth and success. Meditating, cold showers, networking, or exercising are bullshit habits if you want to become richer and more successful. These habits are total BS because the people that preach by them usually fall into two fallacies. First, they confuse causation with correlation. People that meditate may have a correlation with successful people because they are more mentally stable to make important decisions. Nonetheless, this doesn't mean that meditating will make you rich. One does not cause the other. If it were true, every Buddhist monk will be a billionaire by now. The second fallacy is survivorship bias. Successful people usually are more social and expose their success with their personal habits that they think are responsible for that status. And thus it must be a universal thing that anyone can copy, right? Wrong. Just because someone became rich and successful does not mean that any combination of habits are responsible for it. They have their habits, their environment, their network, and an infinite amount of personal variables that led them to become successful. In addition to that, people that actually have failed will not expose their habits that were responsible for their failures. And thus you only hear about the good stories without hearing about the actual bad stories that could have happened. So now that we know what are BS habits, I want to give you what in my opinion are the three only directly related habits that will make you richer and more successful. These habits can be used by anyone at any age and from every corner of the world. The first habit is working. It's pretty obvious and simple, but your single greatest wealth generator will be your job or business. Working doesn't mean necessarily a 9-to-5 job. You could work on your own business or a combination of the two. The important thing is to generate enough income that will sustain you and your family in the long term. It's pretty simple, but working your ass off will actually let you be able to follow habit number 2, which is investing. Just working will not make you rich. It simply will not happen. You must invest your disposable income every month. To do this, you must follow a simple principle every single month, which is spending less money than what you make. It's taught everywhere, yet people do not listen. It's hard to live without going into debt, especially going through college without student loans or getting a house without a mortgage. And I am in no position to tell you to not borrow money because I don't know your specific situation. But the only thing I could suggest is in the daily expenses, try to spend less than what you make. If you can't afford that apartment that you want, following this principle, that means that you do not deserve that apartment yet. You have to live with the resources you currently have at the moment. This will motivate you to work and invest more, and in the long run it will be so much more satisfying and fulfilling to you when you get to that level. You do not need to know about the ins and outs of finance to invest. Your goal must be to increase your applications every month, more than looking for a greater return every year. If you look at this graph, you can see that by focusing on increasing your monthly applications, you will make almost twice as much money in 30 years than by risking your capital and wasting your time looking for an additional 5% yearly return. If you're not a finance professional or do not have a personal inclination to finance, do not waste your time looking for higher investment returns and focus all of that energy into increasing your monthly applications. This will set you up to success and will make you rich in most scenarios. Follow the simple rule of investing into the stock market via low-cost index funds for an average 8 to 10% yearly return and forget about it. To put it into perspective, every $100 you invest today in the S&P 500 will be $1,774 by the time you retire. Imagine how much money you will have if you increase this $100 to $1,000 or $10,000 every now and then. Make recurrent and consistent applications into the stock market and you will be a rich man or woman. Finally, the first two habits will definitely make you richer. But you don't want only to be richer. but successful as well. Success is not a function of money alone. The last habit you need is what we will call active practice learning. You see, programmers have this term for when they are in an endless loop of watching tutorials, called the tutorial hell. Most programmers watch tutorial after tutorial without coding anything. You must read books, watch educational content, and learn anything really that you will actually use today. Avoid the tutorial hell. You must learn how to code Python while you are coding something in Python. You must read a book on how to improve your public speaking by reading the book and speaking in public. Or in my particular case, I am reading a lot of books about investing and programming quant algorithms. Therefore, I must actively use that knowledge by investing my own money today. This habit is very much like investing. The growth becomes exponential as the time passes. You'll be a better person, better at your job or business, and more successful overall. You will end up making more money from your job or business, thus investing more, which will make you more money in the long run. So it's the most beautiful virtuous cycle that you can possibly take advantage of today. These are the only habits that are highly correlated and in my opinion are truly responsible for why some people are successful while others are not. Remember that all the other habits are total BS in terms of the degree that they can make you richer or more successful, but they are potent habits that you can use to support these three habits. Meditating, exercising, and networking are things that you have to decide if you personally like doing them and that you believe that will actually help you become a better person. And not because some random guy on the internet like me told you to do so. I like playing tennis and solving math problems. I do these things not because someone told me to or because I think they will make me richer. I do these things because I enjoy these activities and I think they make me healthier and happier. This state of mind is necessary to implement the three habits we talked about today. So choose your support habits very carefully, taking into consideration what you actually like, your preferences, and your own values. So what now? What do we do? Well, first, follow habit number 3 and do not watch any other video on habits that will make you rich, please. But rather implement the 3 habits we talked about today and put them into practice. You need a goal of what type of life you want. What is your dream life? Estimate how much money you need to achieve that life, how much money you will need every year to maintain that life. After that, start working, investing, and actively learning things that will help you reach that goal. You do not need to be a billionaire to achieve what you actually want. For most people, you can start today, young or old, from anywhere in the planet. And believe me, if you follow these 3 habits, we will become richer than we can have possibly ever imagined before. I hope these habits become useful to you. The single most important habit everyone should follow is excellence. Like Aristotle said, excellence is not an act, but a habit. Thank you so much and see you in the next one.